So, world is going to hell, and quickly. A political commentator, I guess you could call him an influencer, a traveling debater, someone who would go to school campuses like universities and other settings where young people congregated to have debates, to give an opportunity for difficult conversations, for, in some cases, verbal confrontation. This man was named Charlie Kirk, and by many metrics, he was young, but by many metrics he had made it. 31 years old, very powerful but calm and measured voice. You know you made it when South Park features you in an episode making fun of you. You know that you've had an impact at that point. And in this season of South Park's long-standing series, Charlie Kirk was featured. And Charlie's response was jovial. He appeared to enjoy this jest at his expense and appreciate the shout out, ultimately. Of the many political right-leaning commentators, he was one of the most, if maybe not the most, fair, measured, but determined and brave of the bunch. He had a particular style in his videos and his speaking arrangements, and I think maybe entertainment was secondary to Charlie. He was deeply motivated. He was a man of faith. He believed in a unified America, or an America at least that could agree to disagree at some point. Charlie was very much motivated by the mission to de-radicalize with his conversation. And a couple days ago, he was brutally assassinated in front of his wife, his two very young children, and thousands of his supporters. It's tragic. It's shocking. It's probably for some people expected. Not necessarily with Charlie, but with somebody on the right. And for these last couple days, most of the world, the Western world, has been grieving, has been reeling, has been trying to pull themselves together so as not to give in to the spirit of vengeance. A spirit which went directly counter to Charlie's message. As far as I can tell from the things that Charlie said that I've seen, one of his central principles was the way to create unity in a country, the way to solve disagreements is through dialogue, not violence. And it turns out that he was a sacrifice. He was put on that sacrificial altar, and blood, his blood, was spilled. And so there are layers to this event, this dark event in history, that I think will be an example in people's minds for many years to come. There is some disturbing displays that came up around the attempted assassination of Donald Trump. I commented on this in a previous video. That have come up even more fervently in this tragic event. And when we look at the different levels to what's going on here, I think that we have to be very, very careful and measured as to how we react to this tragedy. So part of this is the left versus the right. But it's really not that. It's decent human beings with a variety of different political opinions and stances on a variety of issues that maybe disagree on many things, but are at least unified by their humanity and their sense of decency. Some of them may have agreed with everything Charlie said. Some of them may have respected Charlie's resolve and his sense of fairness, but disagreed with most of what he said. And some people maybe didn't agree with a single thing that he said, didn't really like his opinions, didn't really watch his content, but are still human beings and still have a soul that's intact, that can recognize the seriousness of a tragedy like this and treat it with due respect. And then there's a group of people that are cheering this on, that are cheering this gruesome assassination in front of this man's family on. So it's not just the left versus the right. It's a particular subcategory that's rather extreme within Western culture that have, through repeated attempts to remove the humanity of those that they disagree with, have in fact eroded their own humanity to the point that they can celebrate and laugh and make jokes and dance about this horrible thing that has happened to this person. The mask has been removed. The mask has come off. And I think boldly the monster that was hiding beneath that mask is showing its face. And many people across the political spectrum are seeing the deep rot within the hearts and souls of some of these people. So we will see how this is handled as the mask has been removed to this particular subculture, subcategory of the Western citizenry. I hope that across the board, when this grotesque celebration gets shown, whether it's in social media or in a person-to-person setting, I hope that most people, because most people are decent, can condemn it, can call it out. No matter your political affiliation, can say that that's wrong. What happened was wrong. The way that you're speaking and reacting is disgusting. And hopefully this will be a culture-wide call to point out inhumane behavior. And maybe in time, quell it. There is hatred in some people's hearts. And for most people, it might be natural when something bad happens to someone that you hate, to your bitter enemy. Within your own mind, there might be some satisfaction, some schadenfreude that you can enjoy. But this is not something to be expressed continually. This is something to recognize and address and try to dissipate and release so that that evil does not grow within you if you are that type of person. So that's one layer, and it's shocking and it's disgusting, and we can't endorse political violence. Violence is physical action, not words and ideas. There is a clear line that delineates these two things. No matter how upsetting the speech that someone is expressing might be to you, they are not being violent to you. They are not hurting you. They are not trying to kill you. Violence is what happened to Charlie. Not a single thing that he said was violence. This distinction must be emphasized during this period of mourning as we try to gather ourselves and get back up, continue to live our lives. Now, on another level, there is pressure that is being put on the public through different events that happen that affect us, through the ebb and flow of the images and stories that are fed to us in the media. There is manipulation that probably has always been there, but is as potent and powerful these days with the kinds of technologies that we have to share and communicate media and display media. There is more powerful manipulation than ever that we are all subject to. Now, what is the source of this manipulation? There are levels to it, but it's not the important question right now. Forget that question for a moment. I think most people these days have woken up to the degree that they know that there is some type of manipulation through the media, through the ebb and flow of politics that is exerted on the public. I think this is more and more becoming an accepted truth. And if we look at the various symbols and concepts that were berating us, that were striking us repeatedly in the recent weeks, there is this dark energy of conflict and violence that we have been hammered with in the media, in social media, in Western culture. I made a video, my last video, about this event where this guy, son of a mixed martial arts champion, brutally beat a pro wrestler who was already unconscious. This video of such one-sided and disturbing violence that almost led to a man's death circulated the internet repeatedly for many days. It was one of the biggest stories. Everybody on social media was commenting on it. I made a video about it as an example of a manifestation of sick masculine energy, to kind of contrast and relate to the topic of sick feminine energy, which I've commented on this channel about in the past, because both are expressions of sick humanity. And there was this attack on Qatar that happened that got a little bit of media attention, but is the kind of thing that rouses people up, that brings violence into their mind, that makes them afraid. Fear is one of the primary motivators for most evil action. And fear makes people easy to manipulate. After that, there was this stabbing of a Ukrainian woman who was living in the United States on the subway by a very clearly mentally disturbed dark-skinned gentleman. If you look at the body language, the way he was moving, evoked something deep and scary within the soul, I think. This man was obviously in a mental health crisis of some kind, but it seems very obvious, if you're anybody that has any kind of spiritual understanding or leaning, that there was something demonic that this man was experiencing. And he expressed it physically. And within maybe just seconds, this unaware and suspecting young lady bled out and lost her life. That happened, I think, about a month ago, but for whatever reason didn't get much attention in the media until just within the last week or so. And then soon after the Roger Jackson video of this man almost being beaten to death with unanswered strikes, we have this young lady getting stabbed to death and bleeding out on the subway. And that video was shared over and over and over, hundreds and hundreds of times. That is conditioning. right? This is purposeful. Again, it doesn't matter at this time who is enacting these kinds of manipulation. You just must know that this is pressure that's being put on you. And you have a choice of how you react to these things. And now we have Charlie Kirk's brutal assassination with another extremely graphic and violent video that immediately started circulating around the internet. So this is just one thing after another in the last few weeks of violence, of racial tension, of tension between the sexes, of tension between different ends of the political spectrum. And there are people that can benefit from you being afraid, from you being easy to provoke. And there are, you call them deeper or more complex layers to this as well. Not just people with power behind the scenes, but there are darker patterns of awareness that feed on this kind of energy. This is a dark energy. This is a feasting time, a frenzy, you might say, culminating in Charlie Kirk's brutal murder. And so we have a test in front of us. Do we give in to this stimulation and manipulation? Do we provide this nourishment for the darker aspects of this world? Or do we experience our grief? Do we get a handle on it? Do we process it? Do we reunite and get back up and continue to fight the good fight? So I think, understandably, a lot of right-leaning people have lost all their patience, have had their sense of mercy taken away from them, at least tested. And it's fair, it's understandable, but there are lines. Charlie always walked that line, as far as I could tell, and will inspire us to be careful about the path that we walk in our lives for years to come. So, good luck to all of you on your journey. Good luck finding the discernment with each of your footfalls. And good luck regaining your humanity if you've lost it through the use of excessive hatred for too long. You can always find it again. So thanks for watching, and peace to all of us.